Aloha, everyone. My name's Indar Lang, and I am the host of Hawaii Money Guy. And today we have a fun topic. I just came back from BPCon, Bigger Pockets Convention, and it was an amazing event. And since last week we talked about education, this week let me talk about some of the education I've just learned from going through this amazing event filled with a ton of people. So today it's all about BPCon, what we learned. So let's jump on into it. So get ready and let's go. Just before we get started, I'd love it if you guys could subscribe below, and that way we can reach more people and just help people make their money work for them in any different way we can. Thank you guys, and let's get started in today's content. So guys, we just came back from BPCon, and for all you out there, let me tell you a story of what it is all about. So Bigger Pockets, if you guys have not been on their forum, you should definitely check it out. Bigger Pockets is a community, like a Facebook community, Instagram, community for real estate people in general. It's a great community to find like-minded people. These are people who are flipping, wholesaling, hard-minded lenders, anybody in the real estate business in general who want to learn about investing. It's a great just online platform. They have a huge social media presence. They have a huge podcast. Check out my podcast. I was on one of their podcasts, 490 actually. Great podcast, so check that one out on BP Podcast. It's a great platform to really just grow and learn and to be around like-minded people. You can ask questions on there. You can search old topics. They have a ton of different things to use, from the Burr calculators to deal calculators. Stay tuned for more. Actually, we're going to be sharing our deal analyzer calculator as well. Actually, so get ready for that. I'm going to start sharing the deal analyzer calculator I've been using with you guys. So if you guys want to download that, so get ready for that. But the Bigger Pockets convention itself was amazing. It was mind blowing. The thing sold out faster than anything, and everyone was dying to get tickets. So I think I might buy a couple more tickets next year and sell a couple on the side. The thing was sold out. It's so quick. There was about 2,000, I think 2,000 tickets sold. I would say about 3,000 people there in general. I had a lot of my friends even that just kind of came and crashed the party because they couldn't get tickets. I snuck a few friends in myself to some of the things. So it was an amazing event where you can go and socialize and network and be around like-minded people, as well as they had different rooms and breakout sessions that you can go and learn about. And so what did I take away from the event? Definitely the networking aspect of it all. And I won't lie, we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with some really just amazing people there. We rented a Ferrari, me and my buddy Gabe. We had a Ferrari. We drove that thing around. Amazing, good fun, just fun times. So how would this the event benefit you guys? Well, the event is really a place for you to be around like-minded people, even if you're brand new, never done a deal, to the expert kind of guy in the room. This type of these events really just put you around those type of people. I had a ton of people, and thank you everyone who came out there. A ton of people just came up to me and said, "Hey, I follow you on social. Thank you for all you do," and just want to talk story. And I love talking story. I talk story for a while to most everyone, and I actually wish I had more time sometimes to just sit and chat. So yeah, if you do follow me, definitely come up and talk story, because I love to talk and hear your side, what you do and everything. Of course, love talking to people. I am actually a little shy, a little introverted myself, so. When you do go to those events, I am very shy to go talk up to new people or to new groups, especially in a group setting. You walk up to a random group. I mean, it's kind of a little intimidating, but you just kind of got to wiggle your way in and just kind of hopefully know somebody. We spent most of my time, I actually spent it outside of the event rooms of just networking. I would get into a deep conversation with somebody and hearing what they're doing about their market, any tricks and trade that they have, and so forth. We had a cool private group we were hanging out with, the Maui Mastermind group, as I went to those events a lot. So we had a kind of our own little our little club inside of it all, a little gang. And it was pretty cool to be with those people, because these were all successful, very driven, very high level people. And these high level people You just relate to each other so quickly, so fast. It's almost like we were best friends for years and years, and yet we've hung out probably a handful of times. You really, really bond fast with people that are just on your brain level, your mindset, your business, your drive, your dedication to this craft of real estate. And you really, really bond to them really quickly because I know in the back of my head they share the same struggles I've been through. I know where they're at feelings wise and some of their avenues of the business, and definitely just amazing to be around those people. And you get to kind of jokingly be normal, which is kind of funny to say, but sometimes at these events you have to put on a show. But some of the key takeaways were, I like the high level events. There's some good speakers like Ashley. She spoke about cap rates and so forth. I love hearing about different market analysis and so forth. Brian Murray, if you haven't heard of him, he is Brandon Turner's partner and wrote some great books. He is very high level. Hearing about his story, his growth, and some of the things that he shared was just, it's just great to hear. A lot of different other speakers there, social media, multifamily, and all kinds of different speakers. There's some private money speakers and so forth. But more of my learning was hanging out with the other people. Some of the people I was hanging out with were speakers. So I was hanging out with these people who were speakers, and you almost have a level, they recognize you as successful. I recognize them as successful. So you have this levelness that you can really share your struggles with, and they can share back, and they can share their strengths with, and they can share back. So having a level, up with some people really is dynamic, very dynamic, in the sense that most of the time, the most people I speak to in general may be asking very simple questions. And don't get me wrong, there's no bad or good questions. Every question is great. But sometimes when I'm talking to somebody brand new and they have a normal, what is escrow, what is some of the basic questions, it's not intriguing for me as much as when I'm talking to somebody else who's sharing some of my struggles, and we're talking big deals and bigger struggles, I guess you can say. We all have the same struggles, it's just your struggles keep growing. It's funny that we were talking, it's not about how much you make anymore, it's about your net worth. Your net worth is almost more intriguing to us than what you make, because what you can make can go away real fast. But when you start having a higher net worth, you start having a lot of big portfolios and so forth, you're able to utilize that to do more, to get loans and work with banks, and it just allows you to grow a lot more than just making $1 million a year. Having a bigger net worth allows you to do a lot more. But that's a little bit off the topic. But Bigger Pockets in general has been a really game changer for me. The community, the people. I've been on Bigger Pockets long time ago when it was used to be free. The form was very, not as it was today. Obviously, didn't have as much. But now their form, their webpage, their group, their society is just such a overwhelming, great community of people. And I've been blessed enough to be around Brandon Turner and Tarl and AJ and get to learn from those guys. And Brandon has been just a true, he is exactly like you see in person. He is a true, just your buddy, your friend. He's just a real, genuine human being. And you can't say that for a lot of people, but he is definitely a genuine human that is just amazing to hang around with and to call a friend. I got to stay at his place one night. We did another event on the last day, which I'm truly great to be around. This other event that we did, and I'll talk differently about that. It's kind of more private event. So being around him and all these other people definitely it was great. It was cool to to hang out with just everyone at BPCon and see everyone and just go places and do things. We went to bars and dinners, a lot of dinners, a lot of foods. Everywhere we would go, we would be like, "Are you going there?" It's pretty cool. But for you guys out there, if you haven't been to any kind of event or meetups, I would definitely recommend to go to some of these bigger events and bigger meetups, and especially outside of our state of Hawaii, because then you can see what others do in their state. You can see how they succeed and grow. You can see how they prosper in their business. As well, I've done another event one time, and we actually rented Ferraris in that event, and we snuck off. And that event, there was 5,000 people there, and I snuck off with like a handful of 10 beast investors, and because I gave them value as well as they gave me value back, and I learned a lot from those 10 people compared to being in an event with 5,000 people. So being around the right type of people that I add value and they add value back can definitely change a lot of your mindset. It just gives you a fire. You come home from these events with this burning fire to do more, to do bigger, to go more, because you're around all these other great people. And honestly, I would love to hang out with all those people all the time. I mean, the fire, the love, the passion we have for each other is just unbelievable. I mean, I would hang out in that group for years to come, and I love it. It's amazing that Bigger Pockets has built this community of great people. So check out Bigger Pockets. It's definitely a worth of a page to be around. I think it costs money now. Don't quote me, but I think it's, I don't know, what is it, 100 to 300 a year, something like that, for the annual membership. You can definitely get on there. They're already selling tickets for next year, so I'll probably buy some tickets for that as well. But it'd be interesting to see how Bigger Pockets changes. Brandon's no longer a part of them, as we all know. Brandon left, so see how they're evolving and changing. And they got some new great hosts on there. I love all the hosts, actually. Tony, he's a great buddy of mine, and I just came back hanging out with him. He's on the rookie coach with Ashley. She's great too. Ashley's very sweet. They're great hosts for the Rookie podcast, so check them out. They're great to talk to, and Tony's great for Airbnbs. He really knows his Airbnb stuff. Met the new host, that's with David Green. David Green's, of course, it was co-host with Brandon. Now he's the main host, and now David Green has a new co-host, Rob. Very cool guy, kind of quirky. Has a little quirkiness to him, which looks like a cool guy. I hung out with him a little bit and talked to him and just got to know him. He's got a bunch of rentals as well himself, and he'll be interested to hear how he takes the show as a co-host now. And all the other co-hosts that's on there. James Daynard, he was a very nice guy, very great guy, and we got to have dinner and talk story, and we kind of shared. I didn't get to talk to him as much as I wanted to, but got to share some of, I think we can relate a lot in our flipping. He does a lot of flipping. He's a co-host. And all the other people there. And learn from where they're at in their business and what they're up to, kind of thing, and just kind of check in with each other. We had some, of course, house parties and all that, but the coolest part actually was driving that Ferrari, and I shouldn't tell you how fast I hit, but we hit pretty fast, and it was relatively cheap, guys. It wasn't that much. I split it with Gabe. Gabe was my buddy. We slept in the same, we had bunk beds, and so we slept in the same room every night. And sleeping with somebody in the same bedroom, sharing the same space, you get really close fast, or you learn to, either you hate each other or you don't. And now I can call Gabe one of my best friends, actually, because Gabe is just an amazing person. Gabe's all over Instagram with creative financing. He has a huge portfolio of creative financing deals from parks, our RV parks and shopping centers and rentals. He's got a huge portfolio, and he does all his deals with no money, creative financing. So thank you, Gabe, for just hanging out and being a friend, and just, being a true, genuine human being. He's really an amazing person, and he's a vegan, which is amazing. So definitely check out and go to these bigger events to be a part of a community, to be a part of a growth. I wasn't into networking often at the very beginning, and now I'm very into networking and growing, just for the community itself to grow and to learn from each other. Yeah, pretty amazing. So what's up next? We actually have another event we're going to the Fortune Builder event in Ignite. It's called in end of November. And then we have our events coming up where I'll be sharing the things I actually written down and learned from our events. So I will be sharing at our different events to you guys that we throw here in Hawaii. We have our co-working space, by the way. You guys may know that we are building out a huge 6,000 square foot co-working space. And rather than wait till it's done, we are already throwing our events ourselves there. We're just having meetups right now there because it's a huge space. Parking is great. There's a lot of room. We could fit a lot of people. And why not get people accustomed coming to our place that we're going to be creating a community, a culture. So check out our Instagram and all our social media for our events that's coming up. And our events are going to be the ones that I host, at least, will be more catered towards education, towards learning, towards growth. I'd rather cater towards that than to come and look at my flips and see the new, toilet that I put into that flip. I'd rather you guys come and learn and grow, as that's what I get out of events, and I love learning and growing, and I would like to share that with you guys, some of the things I took away and the things I've learned, the things I've struggled, the things I've really made mistakes on, so you guys can kind of not go down that route. And it's abundance mindset, guys, so there's enough for everybody. So I hope you guys all can succeed and grow as we can grow together. And I think if I can help others, then it'll come back to me, and deals will flow, and the law of attraction. Check out that movie, The Secret, by the way. Great movie. So yeah, guys, Bigger Pockets was amazing, and I'm very thankful for all the friends and all the people I got to meet. Come say hi to me next time. I am very an introvert, so please come say hi to me, talk story, and just say what's up, or even message me on Insta and social, of course, and just talk story, dude. That's what it takes in this world of business, of entrepreneurship, of growth mindset. Is we can't do this by ourselves. If you want to go to the next level in life, you need to network. You need to get to know other like-minded people. And if you're trying to get value from somebody, if you want to take me to lunch and all that kind of stuff, and you're brand new at this, you need to provide value. Obviously, taking me to lunch, a $20 lunch is not enough for me at this time. I can afford a $20 lunch. My time is very valuable. I'm trying to make $500 an hour. So if you're trying to take me to lunch and pick my brain and have coffee, obviously you got to think about that. Don't you think I can afford a $5 cup of coffee or a $20 lunch? So come at me or anybody with different type of value. Bring a private money lender. That's what I need. I need more investors, more people to be a part of our deals, or I need deals in general. So have something that you think would be worthwhile for me to bring to the table, to make the time for you for free. If not, we do have paid coaching and so forth, and we do have an education program coming up too. But so let's kind of jump into segment one, is where we look at questions. We have some questions of the week, and one of the questions we have from one of our people out there was, what do you think about leasehold properties and if they're worth getting into? And this was from what is that, Brenda? I think it is saying Brenda. So about leasehold properties, that was a great question, and actually it's kind of a scary topic, honestly, if you don't know about it. Leasehold properties can be very intriguing at first because you think it's a great deal. And so what it is, first back up. In Hawaii, we have two types of properties. We have fee simple properties and leasehold properties. Fee simple means that you're going to buy the property, the house, and the land that comes with it. So you're going to buy property and land in one package deal. In a leasehold is where you buy the house, but you don't get to own the land. You pay a lease for the land. It stems from the old Hawaiian days and back in the Bishop Estate and all these big players that owned the land. They sold the houses, not the land. So you really want to be careful with the leasehold stuff. And if you want to dive into it a little more, leaseholds will have a term, generally say 15, 20, 30 years on that lease. So what that's saying is that in 15 years, say it's 15-year lease, that the leaser, the person who owns that lease, can dictate new terms. So in 15 years, you can have new terms that could be really high, a lot higher than your projected. There are some little rules and stipulations in there where they can't go crazy on it, but generally it's very scary because you don't know where those new lease terms could be. And then getting loans now, if you're trying to get a loan on a leasehold, it's very hard to do. Generally, there are some lenders out there that are into doing leaseholds, but generally a lender is going to want to be in that realm of the lease itself. So if it's 15 years, they're probably going to give a 15-year lease mortgage for 15 years or something like that, because again, that lease can really change to what the amounts can be. It can be very high, very low. Obviously it's probably going to go up, so you very got to be careful. And now, not to mention, now you're paying a mortgage, and now you're also paying a lease fee. So on top of your mortgage, an HO, and all your other fees, now you're paying a lease fee, leasing fee of the land, which can also be higher. So you normally can sometimes find really good deals. You think they're great deals. A lot of auction sites and Hubzu and auction.com and some of these auction sites can be intriguing because you think it's a great deal, but you do have to do your due diligence because they're not going to tell you it's leasehold. So best to look up that property on a local site or something. Not even Zillow will say, look up on a local real estate company here in Hawaii, and they'll say if that property is leasehold or fee simple. You do want to confirm that. I always look for that right away if a property is leasehold or fee simple, because sometimes it's too good to be true. It's because it's a leasehold, and that's what it is. The mainland people will send me deals sometimes, think it's a screaming deal, and then I come to find out it's a leasehold. So I wouldn't mess around with leaseholds. The only time I personally buy leaseholds is one, if I can buy the lease fee. So sometimes you can actually find a good deal where you're actually buying the fee simple and you're buying the land. You can buy it together. So you're buying the lease out. You're buying it out, basically. So if the combined total could be a good deal. And sometimes people don't look that up because they see leasehold, but they don't realize that the fee is option. You can actually buy it. So it is a great way to, find good deals. As well as I have a friend who buys up a lot of leasehold stuff and becomes a leaseor towards people who own just a house, and it's a great another passive income as well. So be careful about leasehold. The only other way I would buy them if they're really, really cheap, and it can cash flow following that 1% rule. So now you do have to factor that lease payments as well into there, and you do have to be very worrisome. I'm scared myself of them lease fees coming into when they're coming due, when they're 5 to 9 to 10 years or less, they're coming due. Then I would be a little worrisome. And again, they're hard to sell too. So if you're trying to flip these things, you're trying to sell them, they're very hard to sell. So I wouldn't buy a leasehold as trying to do a flip. It's more so to be a rental, and making sure all of that thing cash flow. So great question on leasehold. We probably can make a whole podcast about just leaseholds in general because it's such a tricky topic, but I hope I answered your question and then some to you guys. So be wary of leasehold. Make sure you look for that. It's LH or fee simple FS. Make sure you find out if it's fee simple or leasehold. Check that status up anytime you buy anything, and stay away. But look in the remarks or look in the descriptions if you can buy the fee, or even call the agents and see if the fee is available, and then it could be a good deal. I bought our own condo that way. We were able to buy the leasehold and the fee into one package, and bought our condo that we lived in a while ago. We bought it for like $430, lived in 2 years, 3 years, and sold it for $700. Because we bought the fee for $200, I think it was, and we bought the condo for $200, whatever plus whatever exactly it was. So we bought them together into one loan, one package, and we're able to turn it into a fee simple basically. So yeah, check that out. Segment 2, let's talk about the deal of the week highlights. So we have a bunch of deals coming up here shortly, some nice flips coming up. We have still we're just raising now for our big commercial deal. We have a killer a commercial deal. We have a retail center, and Office Max is our anchor tenant. And there's a huge grocery store that we don't own, but it's part of the shopping center, is the anchor of the whole place, even though we don't own the grocery store. But super excited about that deal. It's just looking better and better as I do more and more research and doing all kinds of due diligence, and I'm kind of going above and beyond, and super excited about it. It's a shopping center, and we have to raise $1.5 million, and just trying to again dot my I's and cross my T's with this thing, and I keep on trying to kind of stress test it basically, and it's looking like a better and better and better deal. So it's a shopping center we're buying in Janesville, Wisconsin, a huge city, 75,000 there, right in the dead center of the city, right off the freeway, by the Home Depot, by all the big retails. There's a Target, there's a bank, and all the big retail stores. There's actually a big gym in the building that just is coming there. A nationwide gym is in our property, as well as a bunch of other 9 tenants total. The kicker is it's 100% leased out, but what is interesting and why it's kind of a good deal is that 3 of those tenants just signed leases for 10 years, and they signed them in August. And the kicker is they gave them the first year free. So the first year they have a free rent. The first year they're not paying nothing on some of these bigger tenants. So that hurts the income, the rental income of this property. So the first year this thing doesn't look good on paper because of these tenants are not stipulated to pay rents until after the year. And the reason they do that, it lets the tenant build out the space. It gives them incentive to customize it and make it theirs, for a year, as they're going to put a lot of money into customizing the space. And they actually are right now. They're almost done with rehabbing one of them. And now this is all on the tenants. So the reason it's a good deal is because technically after a year, when all these leases, all these rents start kicking in, is when our value just shoots up. These big shopping centers, multifamily, commercial, the value is in the rents and your expenses. So it is a triple net, so not much expenses. A few tenants, older tenants, don't have the triple net, but most of them are all triple net there. And so the value is in the rent. So the more you raise the rents, the more you raise the values. And these rents are there. They're just not accounted for until they start paying. and so the second they start paying, we raise the rents, is when we refinance out and we pay back all our investors, take all our personal money out, and it's already have a huge valuation. We're buying it way below market. We won it on an online auction. Really, risky in a sense on these online auctions, but luckily I bought a lot of flips off of these online auctions. You gotta be ready when you buy these online auctions, because there's no inspections, there's no you buy them as is, and your earnest money and everything is very much liable. But we are excited about this deal, and love for you guys to be a part of it. We're giving off two different ways. Either you can be a said 12% just interest, make the interest of your money, so forth, investing with us. Or if you need some tax incentives, we lower the interest to 8%, and we're giving the tax incentives off to people, so you can be tax incentives. You also are, in that sense, in the taxes, you also are partners on the deal. You make cash flow of the deal. If there is cash flow, again, I just said there's no cash flow the first year. It's like a 50,000 loss for the first year, which I can handle. I can eat that up until all those rents start kicking in and start paying their rent. So really fun deal. Really excited about it. We got some. Office Max, our big anchor tenant in the gym, and Office Max been there 20 years, and they just signed a new lease, extension, and love for you guys to join me on that webinar. I'm going to talk about the tax incentives that we're giving off to all our investors, because I've been enjoying the tax incentives myself. So you guys need to start enjoying these cost seg and these depreciations that we're able to get on these large properties. We buy these large properties, not necessarily for the cash flow. Yes, great cash flow in this, but we buy it for the tax incentives, and we buy it to help us offset what we do in our other businesses. So if you have a great business where you make a lot of money, you're in real estate, and you need some tax incentives, you invest with us. We give you $1 for dollar tax incentives. If you invest, $250,000, we'll give you $250,000 in tax incentives back, which means that you, one, get your $250,000 back in about a year, and then two, you'll get a year to 3 years, I should say. The loan process could take longer or so forth, but you're able to get that tax incentives right away this year. We can give it to you this year, or you can roll it over to the next year. So basically, if you make 100, 200,000, whatever you did dollar for dollar, you don't have to pay 200,000 in federal taxes. These are federal taxes. So it's a huge incentive. It's a huge savings for anyone who has to pay high taxes. So check that out. We're excited about that, and So thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching our podcast and listening to our podcast. And if you guys love our show and really appreciate it, please take the time and just click that button right there on the side. We really appreciate it. And comments. I love comments. I answer all our comments, and ask questions, guys. That's the trick to life. Asking questions. Don't be scared. There's no such thing as bad questions. Ask questions. Be authentic in your questions, and you'll get the answers. So make sure you like and follow, and check out all our social media, Indar Hawaii, INDAR Hawaii, on LinkedIn and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and social, everything galore. There's even a new one coming out, I think, Be Real, so we're going to be on there too. So check us out, and let's go, guys. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Aloha.